my confirmation as
I understand,
Attorney
but
General.
do you know?
I said that.
Do you know sitting here whether
All
he
I
took the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
And,
was she?
You know,
was
Senator
she?
Schiff,
Was she
if
right?
you worked for me,
Was she-
you would have been fired
What?
because
Excuse
you
me.
were censured
No,
by Congress
you-
for lying. With your
We can
egregious
stipulate to. You can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
personal attacks. You've been
So-
attacking
so-
my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been
But
attacking.
we're interested.
Senator Adam Schiff and Attorney General Pam Bondi just had a heated showdown over serious corruption accusations involving Trump's border czar, Tom Homan.
My questions therefore focus on these two themes: hiding the corrupt acts of his friends and prioritizing the political prosecution of his enemies.
Here's the background. There are claims that Tom Homan accepted $50,000 in cash from undercover FBI agents before Trump took office, allegedly in exchange for promising to help secure government contracts.
So let me start with the shocking allegations of bribery and pay to play. 2 weeks ago, 4 major media outlets reported that Tom Homan, the president's top deportation official working in the White House, took $50,000 in cash in a bag from undercover FBI agents in September 2024, just over a year ago. According to these reports, Homan indicated he would facilitate securing contracts in exchange for money once he was in office in a future Trump administration. Reportedly, this exchange was caught on tape. Rather than pursue this investigation without fear or favor, the department and the FBI under your leadership or that of your predecessor before you confirmed quietly shut it down. Once news broke, your deputy and FBI director issued a joint public statement confirming that the Trump administration closed the investigation.
Adam Schiff, longtime Trump critic and powerful Democratic senator, says the Department of Justice, under Bondi, has effectively become Trump's personal sword and shield to protect allies and go after political foes.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt denied Homan took the $50,000, telling a reporter, quote, "Mr. Homan never took the $50,000 that you're referring to, so you should get your facts straight."
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as
I understand,
Attorney
but do you
General.
know-
I said that.
Bondi fired back hard in a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, refusing to admit wrongdoing, accusing Schiff of slander, and saying, "If you worked for me, you would have been fired." She cited that DOJ and FBI reviews found no credible evidence in the Homan case.
Do you know sitting here whether
All
he took
I
the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
And,
was she?
You know,
was
Senator
she?
Schiff,
Was she
if
right?
you worked for me,
Was
you
she-
would have been fired
What?
because
Excuse
you
me.
were censured
No,
by Congress
you-
for lying with
we,
your
we can
egregious
stipulate to. You can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
personal attacks. You've been
So-
attacking
so-
my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been attacking
we're interested in.
borders off.
Accountability versus cover-up? Schiff demanded to know, what happened to the $50,000? Why was the investigation shut down? Bondi's defense, she points to Deputy AG and FBI leadership who said there was insufficient evidence, and she repeatedly dodged direct answers. Tone and tactics, Bondi at times went on the offensive, challenging Schiff personally, accusing him of lying, and shifting blame to prior administrations.
You were asked by my colleague from Vermont whether you will support providing a video or audio tape, if it exists, of Mr. Homan taking $50,000 in bribe money from the FBI. Will you support a request by this committee to provide that tape or tapes to the committee? Yes or no?
Senator Schiff, you can talk to Director Patel about that.
Well, I'm talking to you about it. You're the Attorney General. This will be your decision. Will you
You
support?
don't have to tell me what is my decision and what is
then-
not my
then-
decision.
then-
I
and
said
you- and
you
you
can
don't
talk
have
to
to-
Director
you
Patel.
don't have to try to-
You think
you
you've
don't
got a
have to-
gotcha with Tom Homan, our
Excuse me,
border czar,
excuse me, you
who's
don't-
been out there
excuse me.
fighting for our country
Madam
since
Chair,
Donald Trump took office.
And you don't have to defer to the FBI director to pass the buck. So I'm asking you, will you support a request so that the committee, or indeed I believe the American people, should be able to see that video or audio tape? Will you support that request?
Will you apologize to Donald Trump
So
for
I
trying
guess
to
I guess
impeach
the answer
him
is you won't support that
after
request.
you now know that
So
Joe
let
Biden
me-
tried
let
to
me
cover up
do
Hunter
this.
Biden's involvement with
Excuse
Ukraine?
me. Let me do this because I think it's valuable that the American people get a sense of what you've refused to answer today. So these are just some of the questions you refused to answer, or have answered with personal attacks on members of this committee. You were asked whether you consulted with career ethics lawyers, as you promised you would do during your nomination hearing, when you approved the president receiving a $400 million gift from the Qataris. You refused to answer that question.
Political stakes. This clash isn't just about one case, it's about DOJ independence, checks and balances, and whether enforcement is fair or politically weaponized. To me, this is a test moment for the Justice Department under Trump. If the DOJ can be seen bending to protect insiders while targeting opponents, public trust erodes fast.
Or what role you may have played, or who played the role in asking that Trump's name be flagged in any of the Epstein documents gathered by the FBI. Whether Homan kept the $50,000 bribe money. You refused to answer that question. You were asked whether Homan paid taxes on the $50,000 bribe money. You were asked, did career prosecutors find insufficient evidence to charge James Comey? How are military strikes on these boats in the Caribbean legal? And you refused to even answer that question.
You were asked, a law degree,
excuse me,
Senator Schiff?
Did you discuss indicting James Comey with the president? Did you approve the firing of antitrust lawyers who disagreed with the Hewlett-Packard? Whether you support a restoration fund for violent insurrections to attack the Capitol on January 6th? Whether you were firing career professionals, career prosecutors, just because they worked on January 6th investigations? You were asked by my California colleague whether you believe government officials, like immigration officials, have to abide by court orders. So you refused to answer that question.
Schiff's boldness in calling this a cover-up plays well to his base, but the burden of proof lies on the challengers. Bondi's refusal to transparently defend decisions raises more questions than